I'm Pit Boss Chef Kirk Nauman, and welcome to Pit Boss Fully Loaded. Today we've got something special brewing for Mother's Day. I'll be your guide as we cook up a brunch on the incredible 4-burner Pit Boss griddle. Get ready for sizzling flavors and a celebration fit for the queen of the day. Don't forget the flowers as we fire it up and make this Mother's Day unforgettable on Pit Boss Fully Loaded. Have you ever wondered how to get the most out of your Pit Boss? Welcome to Fully Loaded, where I teach you how to unlock the full potential of your Pit Boss grill. Learn new recipes and pick up strategies to cook full meals. Load those grills to the max and unleash flavor like never before with expert tips and tricks. Pit Boss Fully Loaded is your ultimate grilling guide. All right, let's get started. Today we're gonna be making a homemade French toast with macerated berries, whipped cream, and an agave syrup, followed by a very unique yogurt parfait. And then on the savory side, we're gonna do potato pancakes with sunny up eggs, fresh charred salsa, and white cheddar cheese. First, we're gonna start with the yogurt parfait because it can hold cold and you can make it ahead of time. And so what's gonna make this parfait very unique is that we're gonna cold smoke the granola. And so we have about 10 ounces of granola inside of this pan right here. And behind us, we have the 1150 Navigator. And then behind us on this side, we have the 4-burner griddle. Inside of the cold smoke box, we're gonna place our granola in there. What makes cold smoke very unique is that it takes place between 60 and 80 degrees, and it doesn't take very long. Maybe about 10 or 15 minutes, and you imparted a very slight smoky flavor, which is gonna make this parfait very unique. I just placed our granola in our side smoker attachment that will fit most of our Pit Boss grills. Next, we're gonna move into the charred salsa that's gonna be for our savory side of the brunch today. We have about 10 ounces of tomato. You got about 3 ounces of onion that's we kind of left whole as a rondo. And then you got about 2 ounces of jalapeno, or 1 medium-sized jalapeno. On this particular salsa that we're making today, I'm just gonna be charring up the skin on the outside of the chili, the onion, and the tomato. We're not really trying to fully cook the vegetables all the way through. We're just gonna kind of char them on the outside, and then we're gonna close the sear plate and close the lid and just kind of let the temperature carry over. Then we're just gonna buzz it together and season it, and that's gonna be about as basic as it gets. I'm rotating the vegetables as I notice that they start to get charred on the bottom. Just want to give them a gentle turn. We're not really trying to cook the vegetables all the way through. We're just charring them up just to impart that extra flavor. Once we're fully charred on all sides of the vegetables, I'm gonna move it over to this pan over here, and we're gonna close the sear plate, shut the lid, and just let it carry over. By that time, we're gonna be pulling out our cold smoked granola, and we're gonna move right into building our parfaits. Once you notice your tomatoes are getting soft by the feel, just by squeezing them with your tongs, you can go ahead and place them in the side pan. That's what you're looking for. We're ready to pull out our cold smoked granola. Now it's time to move on to building our yogurt parfait. I just picked small bowls. You know, you can use whatever you like, whether it be a glass. You can make it large if you want it family style. But I figured if we're cooking for 4 to 5 people, it'd be nice to have your own little yogurt parfait. In this parfait, I figured between 3/4 of a cup to 1 cup of Greek yogurt. This particular flavor is vanilla. Vanilla, smoke. You're gonna have your nut flavor, and we're gonna have a fig preserve and some dried figs that's gonna go with this. case you were wondering what kind of pellet that I was using on our granola today, we used the Pit Boss Maple Blend. I think it's gonna add a nice subtle flavor to our granola today, and it should put our parfait right over the top. Nice little healthy dose of our smoked granola right over the top of each portion. Next step, I found a fig preserve. I let it come down to room temperature so you can see how it's a little bit more viscous than it being like a jelly. And this will just go right over the top of our granola. All right. You can choose whatever dried figs that you'd like to use in this application. This is known as a Turkish fig or a white fig. It's not as sweet as a mission fig, but I think it'll match well. Roughly about 2 dried figs per portion. Now we can set this off to the side and move on to our next project. Now we're gonna remove our salsa from the grill. Now that it's carried over and cooked, we're gonna place it in this bowl, and then we're gonna blend it up with our emulsion blender, and this is gonna be the topping for our savory dish this morning. Look at that. See how that immersion blender just made this so much easier? It's totally fine if you don't have one of these. You're more than welcome to use your food processor you have at home, or you can just rough chop it on a board and place it back into your bowl and season the taste. You can take your salsa down to whatever consistency you'd like. You can leave it chunky, just don't blend it as long. It's easy as that. All right, on to our next project. This is one of my favorite things that I like to have for breakfast, and it's not as common as you'd think. We're gonna be using some of the most basic household tools for this particular project. All you need is a cheese grater. We have about 2.5 pounds of whole Yukon potatoes. You don't even have to worry about peeling them. Leave the peel on it, but if you prefer, you can peel them. Simply all we're gonna do is just gonna grate it just like how we're doing cheese at home. Pro tip, potatoes are cheaper than fingers. You're welcome to use whatever potato that you'd like, whether it be a russet, a Yukon, red skin potato. I like to use a Yukon potato. It has a good velvety taste after it's done, and it's not as starchy as your new potato or Idaho potato, russet potato. So the next step that we got, now that we got our potatoes shredded, small little next step, we also have about 8 ounces of shredded onion that's gonna go in this 2.5 pounds of shredded potato. Use the same grater, nothing fancy. You're gonna add that in there. What we're gonna do next is that we're gonna extract as much liquid out of this mixture as possible, because we are gonna be adding some liquids to it that's gonna help with the texture of your potato when they're finished. You don't have to be too fancy. You don't have to squeeze too hard. Just give it a nice little once over squeeze, and then you just add it into your next mixing bowl. Now that we're done with that side of the process, give that a nice little quick mix. Here I have about a tablespoon of salt and a 1/2 teaspoon of cracked pepper is going to go in there. I have a 1/4 cup of olive oil or avocado oil. You're welcome to use whatever oil that you like. Have 1/3 cup of AP flour. And 1/3 cup of egg whites, or roughly 3 egg whites. The only other thing to make this better is about 4 pieces of chopped bacon. And give that a good little mix. After just mixing that up for a few minutes, this is going to be the consistency you're looking for. So you got your binder, it's an egg, and your flour is going to be holding your onion and potato and bacon all together. Can get creative. You can add whatever cheese you like, or you can leave the bacon out, add ham, whatever you like. All right. Now we're gonna move into our final step of our brunch today. We're gonna be making French toast. One thing that I always like try to reiterate with people is if you can find whole loaves of bread that are unsliced, you can slice it as thick as you want. And guess what? If you can't find one as square as you like, I can show you a little trick on how to make your slices a little bit bigger. I like to use it on a bias cut. And so what I'll do is I'll just slice like so. And then you can see the amount of surface area that you're gonna have moving forward. I like to cut them about 1 inch to 1.5 inches thick when it comes to French toast, because, I mean, come on, you're eating toast, right? I'm gonna try and get about 10 slices, so we're gonna do about 2 pieces of French toast per portion, and we're gonna make it about 5 portions. When it comes to your choice of bread, you can use whatever bread you like. This is an Italian loaf that I just bought from our local grocery store. Normally in most of the bakeries that you can find in your local store, you'll be able to find some type of a whole loaf of bread. Feel free to use whatever type of bread that you like. My personal favorite is a brioche, but it is a little bit harder to find sometimes. Last but not least, it's good for me to mention that when you're making French toast, I like to leave my sliced bread out at room temperature for anywhere from 3 hours to even overnight. One reason being is that when you make your egg and milk custard, it's gonna cling to your bread a little better. Moving on to the next step in our French toast, we're gonna be making macerated berries. You are welcome to use fresh berries, but in this particular instance, I am using a frozen IQF berry blend. I think it just kind of speeds up the process. You can pull out your fruit the night before, let it defrost in the refrigerator. And then you just add that to your bowl. Macerated berries, it's always mixed with sugar and a pinch of salt. This is what's gonna pull additional liquid out and make your berries more saucy. Got about 1/3 cup of sugar to 1 pound of berries. Just gonna give that a little once over of a mix till you notice that the sugar is dissolved or starting to dissolve, and let it sit. Set that to the side. Just a pinch of salt, not really trying to season. All you're trying to do is help extract more of those liquids. Set that off to the side. Now, last but not least, we're gonna move into the custard in which we're gonna be dipping our French toast in. Typically, when you need to know how much custard you need to make, you can make 1 egg to about 1/4 cup of milk per slice to slice and a half of bread. Again, I had to have about 10 eggs here. This is going to equal to about 20 ounces. Same thing on the whole milk here. We're going to add this to the bowl and we're going to mix that together. Another big subject when it comes to custard and your French toast. What do you put in it? Some people like to add cinnamon and sugar. Some people do vanilla extract. Some people even like to put amaretto, you know, your almond flavored alcohol. It all depends on what you want, and you can make it how you like it. Today I'm just going to add a teaspoon vanilla extract. We're going to let the macerated berries speak on this one. All right, there's our custard. You're gonna know when your custard's gonna be completely finished when all of your yolks and your whites are completely incorporated and mixed well with your milk. All right, now we're moving on to the fun part where we're gonna be griddling our potato pancakes and our French toast at the same time. I have the single burner all the way on low, and I let this thing preheat for about 20 minutes. And so we're gonna have a nice hot spot right here in the center, and we're gonna be on medium on both sides. Now we're gonna be utilizing medium heat on both the potato pancake and the French toast. So we're gonna put our potato pancakes over here on this side, and our French toast over here on this side. Butter, always gotta use butter. Notice it's not too hot. You have your milk solids, it's in the butter. It is popping on there, but it is also not browning. That's also a good sign that you're not too hot. All right, folks, as you can see, we're gonna griddle these for about 2 to 3 minutes on each side till they're about golden brown. Really, all we're trying to do is just to cook the custard that's on the outside of the bread, and it's gonna leave that nice golden brown. Now that our French toast is almost done, we're gonna drop our potato pancakes. All right. On your potato pancakes, you're gonna kind of want to let them go for about 3 to 4 minutes on each side until they're golden brown on each side. Just flip them. You treat it just like a regular pancake. Your potatoes should cook through perfectly. Now we're gonna go on with our macerated berries. Now that our sugar is all dissolved and all the liquid has been extracted, should make for a good topping for French toast. Whipped cream, who doesn't like whipped cream? Now we got some good old agave nectar that we're gonna top this off with, followed by a few pieces of mint. We're ready to rock and roll. Now that we have this project completed, we're gonna set this off to the side, and then we're gonna finish up our potato pancakes and sunny up eggs. And we're gonna move on to our fried egg side of the savory entree. Butter, of course. Notice how the ceramic coated griddle top for this 4-burner really makes cooking eggs easy. Now for the easiest part of today's meal. All ready to go for next time. Now we just garnish up our last bit of our brunch here. A little bit of our charred salsa. Last but not least, sharp white cheddar cheese. And there we go. And that concludes today's episode of Fully Loaded Ultimate Mother's Day Brunch. Make sure you like and subscribe to see more Fully Loaded.